And here we are with Tyler Johnson. So first play, I believe he's in. Yeah, he's top slot right here, number two. Let's watch him. Foot fire release on a slant. Okay. Don't care that he didn't get the ball. It's a good route, right? Close close ground to the DB and press. The one thing I will say is I think his eyes are maybe a little bit in. If his eyes are peeking inside, watch that because that can tip off the break. Maybe they're not. Maybe they are on the DB here. But nonetheless, close that ground. Foot fire, threatening both ways. Break inside. Beat that corner cleanly on 2nd and 6 or whatever it is. But good route to start, right? Foot fire, get inside. Bang, that's a win, right? We'll take obviously any wins we can get. All right. Overly foot fire. Okay, so you have an example of a good foot fire. This time maybe a little bit too much. He's to the top of the screen right here. Yeah, little bit too much, right? Typically, 3, 4, 5 steps. We got let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Break inside. You're not doing too much to a DB there when you're just firing your feet that much. They're gonna be able to sit on that all day. So, does he want to maybe, get in a drive phase a little bit, take a few steps vertical, then foot fire? You want to get the DB off balance. So closing ground, getting them on their heels, and then foot firing, threatening a break each way, or threatening the break either way is better than just straight foot firing. It almost looks like it's like a glitch in a video game. How much he foot fires there? I've never transparently even seen that. Tries to cross his face. Again, DB's able to stay square because there's no momentum there. There's no threat of him actually like taking off. Stays inside, hand inside, slingshots himself back over top of that route. He's not even close to open. All right. Contested bad release. All right. Okay. So he's right here. We're 18. Okay. Yeah, really not much to the release there in terms of just taking it vertical, break inside. There's really nothing there. Versus DB with outside leverage. That DB with outside leverage probably doesn't want to lose to the outside. So maybe stem him to the outside a little bit, stem him to the outside shoulder, cross the face. Or even if you don't cross the face, hopefully he widens and you get an easier inside break because his momentum is going outside. He doesn't really do anything with the break, breaks inside on a drag. Stafford figures, hey, inside, there's pressure in my face. He has leverage inside. Let me put it inside and low. He does. Tyler Johnson does a good job of lowering himself, creating the ball, bringing it in through obviously the arm of the DB that's in there and catches it. Good contest, bad bad release obviously, right? There's really nothing to it. Block effort. Okay, I believe he's right here in motion. It is interesting that they use him as a sifter sometimes. They use him as like an H-back insert, all that stuff. So they had faith in him blocking, and he's definitely a willing blocker. And here he comes across the line of scrimmage. He's trying to get a hat on to 34 right there, which I believe is at Anzalone, right? Anzalone squeezes down a little bit. Tyler Johnson runs his feet, tries to get the helmet in front of him, which he does, lowers the helmet, pops up the inside shoulder, gets the left hand attached, and drives him to the inside. It's a really good block for a receiver there. It's a good block, good effort, and even good technique after getting the left hand inside. Okay. Again, we're gonna run through this one because it's Tyler Johnson. He may be cut, he may be receiver 5 or 6, but realistically, you got Garrett, you got Josh Reynolds, who you guys should have watched the review if you're watching this one. In my mind, you got Arian Smith, hopefully Corley, Lazard, maybe Tyler Johnson's your 6. Maybe it's Xavier Gibson. You're talking about receiver 5 at 6 at best here. So I'm not going to spend too long on it. But nonetheless, he's right here off the line of scrimmage on the bottom of the screen. Really nothing with the release there. Obviously, you want to speed release this inside. You don't want to dance too much because this vertical is helping you get underneath. So you want to get there quick. He does. Drag route. Oh, this is just big yak from him. I remember this play. Right. Not much not nothing too crazy to break down here in terms of the yak. We got effort, not the fastest guy in the world, as you can kind of see. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But catches the ball, right? Knows there's a guy, chasing him from behind. His momentum's going outside. Let me break down inside. Gets inside, follows his block, sees 21 coming over at a really high angle, undercut him as well, and then it's just a race. He's not necessarily going to win. He's not the fastest guy in the world for sure, but stiff arm and the effort there at the end too gives him an extra 10, 15 yards, which we like. Just the low throw. Okay, top of your screen. Okay, outside stem, speed cut on the dig. So good stem in terms of wide of holding that DB outside, hold them to the outside. Break, rounded, but it's okay. You're just trying to get to a spot. Ball is a little bit low from Stafford. Good adjustment to the low throw. Not always easy to catch these type of balls. Get low, cradle it, catch it with your body, turn, make sure you don't fall on the football. It's a good job. Contested. Looks to be top of your screen. I think that's Tutu Atwell and Puka. So I think he's top. Yep, slant. Right, really nothing to it because this time it's just you can see like there's not so much explosion out of his breaks and stuff, but corners off. There's really not much to be said there. Breaks inside in the slant, ball's a little behind him. Whether it be on purpose because of the linebacker or just accuracy problem. At least in that play, obviously that throwing mechanics in the lower body is not great. So maybe it's not on purpose. Maybe it is. Ball is behind him. Adjusts to it, slows down, cradles it, brings it in through traffic. Cool. Bottom slot, decent release, lack explosion. Okay. Bottom outside slot. Okay. Now he now this time he closes ground a little bit more and does like a skip into a foot fire. It's like a so people call it like a skip into a foot fire, like a power skip. Power skip, break, cross his face, get his eyes back to the ball. But you could see there's a little bit of like dead time. Like he's not the most explosive out of his breaks. He's not going to create a ton of separation. Even though with a good release and good hand, he's not going to create a ton of separation. And obviously, I acknowledge that he gears down at the top right there or at the end because he sees, the quarterback's not looking his way, the ball's out. But regardless, top of your screen right here. Okay. Right. A little bit of miscommunication. So now he sits it down, right? Stafford's not looking that way, doesn't want to throw it. Stafford starts to scramble, expects Smart to just sit or expects Johnson to just sit it down. He breaks the outside, ball is behind him. You have Stafford who's looking directly at you and running towards you. Just sit it down. And it's a miscommunication. It's, I get it if he's like, oh, well, he thinks the linebacker's behind him. He's trying to create some separation, but Stafford is starting to load up to throw this ball. You got to just hit it down. Ball is then behind him or in front of him or whatever. Let's see. He's just trying to create, again, just a bad feel for it with Stafford. Oh, he actually expects him. He actually, sorry, not sit it down. He actually expects him to continue outward, but then he doesn't get his eyes back to the football. Like he's in trouble right here. You're breaking outside. Know that the football is coming, and he looks away for you know too long, a second. Even if you break outside, continue to show Stafford your eyes. That's not a quarterback friendly type of play by Johnson. No stem. Top. Okay. So he just takes this straight vertically. Doesn't really play with the stem too much. Maybe there's a slight outside stem there, but there's really not much